Welcome to Liberate University. Liberate University is free educational content released for the benefit and enjoyment of all. Many thanks to our gracious family of world-class practitioners for sharing their work.
Hi there, welcome to another episode of Liberate University. Today we're going to talk about taking those steps to change your life. It's about starting anywhere and it will take you everywhere. And in order to kind of get the feeling of that, I'm going to read you a little poem that I wrote that kind of showcases those changes and just, something that I did and shifted in my life, and, maybe you resonate with it. So I figured I'll share it. As I sit and transform, my life shows me something different than before. Everything is connected, and as I carve a new me, slowly my life reshapes naturally. Is this really all it took to shift the dark outlook? An hour a day and my world is changed. That inner voice starts to say, if only I began yesterday. Today is just as good. Let go of the shoulds. Let yourself be proud today as your life reshapes. And really, when I look at that poem, it's about, being in that moment and just starting, taking those steps and seeing that, is this really that all that it could take is just an hour a day, and you shift, you change. And I know that we get into our mind and we say that that little voice jumps in and we say, if only I began yesterday, if only I started sooner, but it's not about that. Wherever you are, there you are. And, I want to take a moment to talk about this, because oftentimes what leaves us paralyzed in life is that we get so overwhelmed by all that we want to do that we don't even begin. And so I want you to take a moment, maybe after you listen to this message and this Liberate University, and actually allow yourself to stop for a moment and say, what is it, that thing that you really want, that's super meaningful to you, that you've been putting off, that you've been delaying and procrastinating, that you've said, okay, I need to have everything figured out in order to actually do it. And I challenge you to bring that into your life. And then I want you to start to do a process called chunking down, where you actually peel away the layers and get to the first step that you need to take, right? Because if you just take that step, you will be surprised at where you go. And if it's just a few minutes every day, if it is that hour every day, if it is just taking those first steps and seeing that those steps lead to the next ones that lead to the next ones, and so on, right? And so let's look and let's say maybe somebody has a goal that they want to write a screenplay or a book, and it just seems so unmanageable that it's like, oh my God, it's so much work. I don't know where to even begin. If you pull yourself back and say, well, what is the thread in the topic? What is one or two of the characters, or one or two of the points that you're looking to get across? How do you start with just a paragraph, and you allow that paragraph to become a few pages, which then becomes a chapter or a scene in that movie? And really, when you really boil it down, all you're talking about is writing letters on paper or pressing buttons on a keyboard. And those buttons are depicting words that go across the pages. It's not that hard to press a button. It's not that hard to take out a pen and write a letter. And once you allow yourself to just start, you'll see that it continues to add up and add up and add up. And as the days turn to weeks or the weeks turn to months, you'll look and you'll be like, oh my God, look at how far I've become. Look at the changes that are in my physical energy. Look at the accomplishments that I was able to do. Look at the changes in my health and well-being. Look at the difference in my pattern or my lifestyle. Look at the differences in my savings or whatever it may be. And so I challenge you to say, why wait till tomorrow to begin what you could do today? And you don't want to be like in that poem thinking, if only I started yesterday. Today is just as good. Yesterday's already passed. And you say you might as well start today than tomorrow. You know, and so allowing yourself to pull that in and say, okay, what is the first step that I can take? How do you chunk it down to the point where you can shift it, you can peel that away? And you can allow yourself to just take those steps and you realize that it isn't that hard. Most of the time, the only thing that creates challenges is inside of our mind. It's an illusion that creates delusion. Really, it's illusions that create delusions. It's not hard. We just worry about, are people going to judge us? Do we have the right tools? Do we have the right information? Can we really do it? Are we skilled enough? Are we capable enough? And it's those thoughts between right here that cause paralysis. And if you allow yourself to no longer hold on to fears and worries and doubts, and you say, this is a learning. You're learning. It's okay to make mistakes. And you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Because their opinions about you or anything you do is going to tell you more about them than you. And guess what? You're the one taking action. You're the one taking the control over your life and saying, I get to begin doing what I want to do. And don't worry about them. So take those steps. Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of this class. We hope to see you at the next one.